What's up, everybody? Welcome to a Saturday morning edition of The Squeeze. I am your host, Tyler Conium. We had a good night last night. It was another 2-1 night. The NHL back-to-back strategy paid off once again. So we're going to keep rolling with that. Strategy is either betting on the team that did not play in a back-to-back to win or to play the under. So Washington and Nashville both played on Thursday night. We bet the under. It came in under 6.5. It was a 3-2 final for Nashville. We got the Lakers right on the money line. So if you bet, here's the thing with closing line value. So because of the nature of this video, and I record pretty early in the morning, for example, at 7:13 a.m. right now, I choose out my bets the night before. And with closing line value, you either, like, for example, the three bets I have today are all in the green. The value's changed. For the Lakers, it closed at plus 130. I made the bet at minus 104. It closed at plus 130. So depending on when you watch the video, depending on when you want to decide to bet based on this video, you might have got more value, less value. I'm not sure. But the Lakers did beat the Atlanta Hawks. It really wasn't all that close. LeBron was probable the whole time. I don't know why that line I don't know why the line was the way that it was. But we got that right. Did have Detroit plus 125. They lost 3-2 to Florida in a close game, but that's okay because when you lose the plus money game, you're not paying the juice on anything. So one full unit on the week. We are now 8-4, up 2.95 units. Can't complain. And I like today a lot. Sometimes you just look at the board of all the games and all the lines, and you just think, like yesterday, for example, I did it, and man, I don't know what I like. And it took me a really long time to come up with those three bets. It was simpler today. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, or if it works out or if it doesn't. I'm not sure. But I looked at the board today, and there's a lot of juicy matchups that I like. It is daddy-daughter day, spending the day with my daughter, just the two of us, so I'm not sure how much I'll be able to get out on my Twitter account in terms of props and other games, but I will do my best. But we will start with three bets today, and we're going to kick it off in the National Hockey League. We're going to kick it off with our back-to-back strategy. This is actually sort of the theme of today, is this back-to-back strategy, and we're going to start with the Toronto Maple Leafs, who are at home against the Detroit Red Wings tonight. So as we know, the Red Wings played last night because we bet on them. They lost to the Florida Panthers, where the Leafs come into this game coming off 2 days rest and a 5-1 loss to Seattle. And then previous to that, they lost to St. Louis in overtime. So they've actually lost back-to-back games. I think this is a great bounce-back spot for the Toronto Maple Leafs at home against Detroit, who just played last night. Leafs are 13-3-1 at home. On the road, Detroit's actually above 500 at 7-6-4. And I actually did take this game on the puck line as well. I should mention that. The line is like minus 240, but I think, again, this is a great spot for the Leafs to have a bounce-back game against a tired Detroit team. So I'm going to take the minus 1.5 at the plus 100 odds. It's expected that they will have Husso in net tonight, who's 12-8 with a save percentage just over 9. That's for Detroit. The Red Wings are 3-9 in their last 12 overall, so they haven't been playing all that great. The Toronto Maple Leafs are 6-1 in their last 7, coming off a loss by 3 or more goals, so they are bouncing back well, which isn't always a trait of the Toronto Maple Leafs. And they're also 5-1 in their last 6 against the Atlantic Division. Looking at the face-to-face matchup, favorites 22-4 in their last 26 meetings, and the Red Wings are 6-21 in their last 27 against Toronto. And the over's 5-2 in the last 7 meetings. So I look for Toronto to score a lot of goals tonight, which means I really like the puck line. Minus 1.5, Toronto Maple Leafs, plus 100. Remember that analysis because it's going to come back for a game later on in this show. The second one, we're going to San Jose. We're going to stick with the strategy. The San Jose Sharks played last night. They lost 5-4 in overtime to the Anaheim Ducks. And they're taking on, just the best team in the NHL, the 34-1-3 Boston Bruins. Now, because of I don't like taking necessarily the puck line on the road. It is a little bit harder. Even though the Bruins are 24-14 to the puck line this season, San Jose is 20-20. They are at home, so it just makes me a little bit nervous. So we're going to go with the under. Now, I talked about closing line value earlier on. I bet this last night at plus 100. I made this bet at 10:40 last night at DraftKings. The line has now moved. It's still 6.5, but it's now minus 115. So decide if you want to pay the juice or what you want to do there. But I did get it at plus 100. So in this instance, this is the benefit of betting earlier on. And the Leafs, by the way, at plus 100 is now at minus 105 on the puck line. So Boston Bruins are coming into this. They're 4-1 in their last 5 road games. San Jose is under 12-1 to the under, in fact, in the last 13 home games following a road trip, which is an interesting statistic. The Sharks are also 3-13 in their last 16 games. Against each other, the under is 9-2-1 in the last 12 meetings in San Jose, and it's 5-2-1 in their last 8 meetings overall. On this season, San Jose has been more prone to be an over team, but coming off an overtime game last night, they could be a little bit tired. When you look at their recent scores, Boston 3-1, Boston 5-1, Boston 4-1, Boston 6-5, Boston 3-1. So Boston's been dominating this series. So even though I like Boston to win by a few goals, I don't think San Jose is going to be able to score many goals. When you look at the goalie matchup, it looks like it's going to be Ullmark for Boston. He's 21-1 with a 1.86 goals against. San Jose is more likely to have their backup in net. It's got a save percentage of .869, which is not great. A goals against of almost 4. So I like for there to be goals in this game. I just like for them all to come from the Boston side. So I'm going to take the under there at 6.5. Again, you can shop around. I got this at +100 at DraftKings last night. And our last bet of the day, we're going to do a bit of a parlay. And there's a lot of parlay potential out there on the card today to have a look at. There's a lot of games that are somewhat heavy favorites. I should say there are 2 NFL games today. I'm probably going to stay away from the NFL today and tomorrow. There's going to be a plethora of people making videos or writing articles about the NFL. It's Week 18. I don't love Week 18 or the final week in the NFL regular season. You never know who's going to play. You never know what's going to happen. Meaningful games, meaningless games. I do err more on the side of props. You can actually look at players that have incentives that they want to hit. I know Patrick Mahomes, I think, needs 400 yards to hit like a $500,000 incentive, so you can look at those a little bit. But in terms of betting outcomes, I'm going to stay away from that. Even though I do like the Chiefs tonight, we'll stay away. We're going to parlay the Toronto Maple Leafs. I already discussed that, just money line -270. And then I'm going to parlay that with the Dallas Mavericks -275. This gives us a two-leg money line parlay at -115. This is at Bet365. And we're just going to employ this back-to-back strategy. So the New Orleans Pelicans are at the Dallas Mavericks. Dallas has been on fire lately. They did lose their last time out against Boston. Boston beat them pretty badly, but previous to that, they'd won 7 straight games. So they are 7-3 in their last 10 matchups. This game's being played in Dallas at the American Airlines Center, where the Mavericks are 15-6. The Pelicans are 7-10 on the road. And the Pelicans have hit a bit of a stumbling block a little bit. They've lost 3 of their last 4. They've been without Zion Williamson, who is injured. They're still without Brandon Ingram, who's injured. Doncic is probable for this game tonight. I don't know why he wouldn't. I guess he tweaked his ankle against Boston, but he's expected to be fine. Pelicans are 1-11 ATS in their last 12 Saturday games, 1-6 ATS in their last 7 versus a team with a winning record, and they're also 1-5 ATS in their last 6 road games overall. Like I said, Mavericks have won 7 of their last 13 games, and the over is 13-6 in the last 19 games. So if there's going to be a lot of points, don't really know where that's going to come from on the New Orleans side without Ingram and Zion. When you look at those recent games, they did win against Houston, who's one of the worst teams. They scored 119 there. But against Brooklyn, they scored 102. Against Philly, 111. And against Memphis, 101. So they've been struggling to score the ball. Obviously, they're missing their 2 best scorers. So I like the Dallas Mavericks just to win this basketball game, just the money line. So we're going to take the Dallas Mavericks and the Toronto Maple Leafs 2-leg money line parlay for -115 at Bet365. We'll pay the juice there because we're not paying it on the other 2 games, which I like. So to run down this Saturday card for you, I like the Toronto Maple Leafs on the puck line +100 tonight, +100 at BetMGM. I like the Boston Bruins and the San Jose Sharks to go under 6.5 +100 at DraftKings, and the parlay Toronto Maple Leafs and the Dallas Mavericks money line -115. Tomorrow will be our first ever live show here at 10 a.m. Eastern. Going to work out all the kinks. I'm not exactly sure how it's going to go, how it's going to work. The idea is just to discuss sports, sports betting, what's going on in both of those worlds for about 25 minutes, and then we'll get into my 3 bets at the end of that show. So I do hope you tune in. It will be here on YouTube, but I'll post updates throughout my social media as well. So drop a comment if you're fading or following. As always, you can follow me at Tyler Conium on Twitter for more picks and props throughout the day. Audio only versions available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Let's talk some sports.